Hi everyone, welcome back to Ukulele Beginners with me, Matt Stead. In today's video, we're going to learn 3 new chords. Now, if you combine those chords with the 2 you already know, you're going to be able to play thousands upon thousands of songs. We're also going to take our time to learn a little bit about the types of chords that we play, specifically looking at major chords, minor chords, and 7th or dominant chords. Let's have a look at the 2 chords that we've already learned. We have our F chord and our C7 chord. Now, just a quick recap as well. We want our uke at this lovely 45-degree angle. We want a nice circle on the hand with the thumb on the back of the ukulele. And we want to be playing these chords as close to the metal fret as possible. So not over this side, over here with a nice arch, just the fingertips on the string. So F, C7. Those 2 chords are actually 2 very different types of chords. The first chord we learnt, C7, is a type of 7th or dominant chord. And the next chord we learnt, F, is a type of major chord. If you have a chord that's written down as just a letter and it's not followed by a number, such as 7, or a letter, such as a little m, you can presume that it's a major chord. So this F chord that we're playing, its full name is F major. So just as you know me as Matt, but my full name is Matthew Stead, this F chord, its full name is F major. Major chords have quite a bright, cheery sound to them. And they often make you feel like you're at home in a song. Notice when we're playing Singing in the Rain. I'm singing, just singing in the... When I hit this F chord, rain, I feel at home and it feels like a nice, comfortable, happy sounding chord. Likewise, when we start the song, I'm singing in the rain. It's nice and upbeat, and again, I feel like I'm at home. The other chord we learned in this song, the C7 chord, fulfills a very different function. 7th chords, also known as dominant chords, are more kind of bluesy, jazzy and earthy sounding. And they often fulfill the function of making you want to go back to a major chord. They kind of feel like a cliffhanger chord in a way. Have a listen to the end of Singing in the Rain again. I'm singing, just singing in the... Notice how it's created a tension, a kind of cliffhanger that isn't resolved until I go back to the major chord, the F major we started with. Singing, just singing in the rain. Do, 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 do. And there's one other type of chord we're going to use today, and that's a minor chord. Now, minor chords give a kind of melancholy or sad feel to a song. And they can also feel a little dark. Here's a fun example. Have a listen to the start of Singing in the Rain, but played as minor chords. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy. Well, I'm not very happy, am I? Minor chords add that real touch of sadness. Back to the original chords, the major chords, very uplifting in comparison. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. And then a bit of change and a bit of tension. I'm happy again, which is going to make me want to go back to the start. Minor chords are written down using a letter followed by an undercase M. So if you see a capital A with a small m next to it, presume that that chord is an A minor. The first new chord we're going to learn today is a form of major chord, one of the bright happy ones. And it's another form of the C chord that we learned last time. So we learned C7, but today we're going to be learning C major. And to do that, we take our third finger, our ring finger, and we place it on the A string, the one nearest the floor, at the 3rd fret. Give that a strum down on all 4 strings, and we have a C major chord. Notice that that chord has a different property to the C7th we're using. The 7th, kind of bluesy, a little bit of tension makes you want to go to another major chord, whereas the C major chord, quite happy to sit there on its own. So C major, written as just a C. The next chord we're going to learn is a form of minor chord. So this will have a slightly more melancholic sound. We're going to learn an A minor, written as an A with a little M next to it. Now notice that when I play this A minor chord, I put my 2nd finger, and that's really important for something later on the 2nd fret of the G string, the one nearest your nose. Now make sure when you're doing this to have a nice proud arch under that finger and just use the fingertip here. If you flatten down, we're going to have this going on the C string, but if we keep it nice and tall and proud, we have a lovely A minor chord. Let's practice changing between the 2 of those. I'll give you a count of 4 to get us started on a C chord, and every time you see a count of 4, know we're going to change chord to the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. Now remember, no matter what happens, keep this arm strumming, whether you're strumming downs or down and up. Now we want this hand to keep moving no matter what. It's really important to learn to play in time. So if there's a little bit of a gap between you playing your C chord and your A minor whilst you get your finger going, it doesn't matter at all. You can have a gap like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's more important to keep this right hand moving no matter what. And remember, have that 2nd finger ready whilst you're playing the C chord, and likewise have the 3rd finger ready whilst you're playing A minor so you can drop it back down. The next chord I'd like you to practice is one that we already know, our good old F chord, one of the first chords that we learned. Now notice something really cool about the F chord in relation to the A minor. The F chord is only 1 note different to the A minor. Here's your A minor, here's F, here's your A minor, here's F. So when we change from an A minor chord to the F chord, all we need to do is put this index, your 1st finger, down on the 1st fret of the E string, and we have an F chord. To get from an F to an A minor, take it away, voila, an A minor. And that's the reason we generally play A minor using our 2nd finger. So let's try practicing it. We're going to try playing a C chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, an A minor chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an F chord. Okay, let's give it a go after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, A 3 chords all together sounding really, really neat. Remember, if you're having any of this sound and your chords aren't ringing clear, just stand up those fingers so just the tips of them are on the string and not pressing on the ones below. Now here's a little tip right from the start. Lots of 3-finger chords involve your index finger. In fact, most of them do. And if you struggle to get this chord down quickly, start with the index finger first and the next 2 fingers should fall into place. So when we build this G7 chord, we're going to take our index finger, first finger, and we're going to put it on the 1st fret of the E string, okay, the 2nd one up from the floor. Then we're going to take our 2nd finger and we're going to place our 2nd finger up here on the 2nd fret of the C string, the 2nd one down from your nose. That leaves this 3rd finger free, and the 3rd finger is going to sit on the A string, the one nearest the floor. Notice it's in the same fret as the 2nd finger. So we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now make sure you've got that nice arch on the back of your ukulele with your thumb on the back of the ukulele, and you can see that daylight in that circle. You can see my t-shirt through the middle, right? So what we don't want to do is flatten those fingers because we'll have this sound. So as you play this G7, try and make sure that each of those fingers isn't impacting on any of the other strings. So this one's not falling down onto that string, for instance, and this one's not falling down. Keep them up nice and proud, just the fingertips. 1, 2, 3. Let's give it a strum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. Now just notice, if I get that index finger down first, look how my next 2 fingers naturally almost want to form the shape of that G7. So like I said before, try and get your index finger down first, and the next 2 fingers will probably naturally sit into place for that lovely G7 chord. Notice that our F chord and our G7 chord share a note and a finger that is in the same place on both chords. This index finger here, notice on an F chord we have the index finger here, 2nd finger up here. On the G7 chord, index finger in exactly the same place with these 2 fingers down here. And whenever 2 chords come next to each other and they share a finger in the same place, we try and leave that finger where it is, and we can use it to our advantage. So notice when I play an F chord to a G7 chord, I can pivot on this index finger to allow those 2 fingers to come down. F chord, G7 chord, F chord, G7 chord. Now notice as I pivot, you'll see my arm move. Because I need to squeeze these 2 fingers in here at such an angle, it's easier to angle my arms slightly outwards when I play G7 to when I play F. Not a big difference, but you'll find it will create a nice natural spread of the arm and a nice natural angle to hit this fret. So let's practice changing between an F chord and a G7 chord. Same as before, I'll count you in with 4, and when we're going to change from the F to the G7 and back again, I'll count you in with 1, 2, 3, 4, and try and keep that index finger where it is the whole time and just pivot up and down. So F chord to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, F. 1, 2, 3, 4, G7. 1, 2, 3, 4, F. 1, 2, 3, 4, G7. 1, 2, 3, 4, F. 1, 2, 3, 4, G7. 1, 2, 3, 4, F. Fantastic. Let's practice transitioning out of the G7 now. We're going to go from our G7 to our C chord, the one we started with. G7, C chord. Now there's a little trick that we can do here, just like with the F and the G7, slightly different this time. Once you've played your G7, try removing your first and second fingers, and then this finger, our third finger, our ring finger, we can just move up to the 3rd fret and hit the C7. In reverse, we can move our 3rd finger back and we can put down 1, 2, G7, off, 1, 2, across, C. Back, 1, 2, G7, and across, 1, 2, C. Let's start with G7, 1, 2, and 3. I'll give you a count of 4, and then we'll start with G7 and then change to a C. 1, 2, 3, 4, G7. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, G7. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, G7. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, G7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, C. And relax. Now we're going to look at a piece of music which uses all 4 of these chords. And it's one of the most common chord combinations in all of music. C, A minor, F, G7. And there are literally thousands of songs which use this chord combination. And remember, each one of those chords is fulfilling a function. C makes you feel at home. A minor, a touch of melancholy. A major chord in F lifts us up again. A 7th chord makes us want to go back to the start. So we're going to look at Octopus's Garden because it beautifully uses these 4 chords. It's one of the few Beatles songs where I can almost sing as well as the original because it's a Ringo song. The verses to this song are the exact chords we were just learning in that exact order. We have 8 beats of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 beats of A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 beats of F. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 beats of G7. And we go back to the start. 2, 3, 4, C. Try strumming along at home. You don't have to do a down-up strum. If you don't feel confident enough quite yet, you can just do down strums on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Remember, however you're strumming, a couple of the tips from last time. Try not to keep your nail this way. This way, we want it at a nice 45-degree angle. Thumb on the back if you feel it needs the support. Arm mostly doing most of the work with the strum. Just a slight little rotation of the wrist at the end. Okay, join in with me with a C chord after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like to be under the sea, in an octopus's garden, in the shades. He let us in, knows where we've been, in his octopus's garden, in the shade. next section isn't too bad. We have an A minor chord followed by an F chord. Notice that the A minor chord lasts for a fairly long time. It's 16 beats, but don't feel you have to count. Just wait for the 1, 2, 3, 4, counting you into that F chord. Also notice that adding this A minor chord at this point in the song, with it being a minor chord, adds just a touch of melancholy. It stops the song being too cloying and upbeat. Let's give it a go. Come in on an A minor after 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd ask my friends to come and see an octopus's garden with me. Fantastic, well done everyone. The next section is almost the same as the start and the verse. We have C for 8. I'd like to be A minor for 8 under the sea. But this time we have F only for 4 in an octopus's G7 for 4 garden in the, and back to C, shade. Let's give it a try. Let's start on C. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like to be under the sea. It's a quick change. In an octopus's garden in the shade. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. Should we try and put this whole thing together? Come on, you can do it. We'll have the words and the chords along the bottom, the chord boxes up top to help you. And remember, there will always be a count of 1, 2, 3, 4 before the next chord to help you see it coming. Join in with me with a C chord after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. He let us in, knows where we've been, in his octopus's garden in the shade. Is that long A minor? I'd ask my friends to come and see an octopus's garden with me. I'd like to be under the sea in his octopus's garden in the shade. Let's go right back to the start. We would be warm below the storm in our little hideaway beneath the waves, resting our heads on the seabeds, knowing that we're happy and we're safe. The A minor part. We would sing and dance around because we know we can be found. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. Another verse. We would shout and swim about the coral that lies beneath the waves. Oh, what a joy for every girl and boy, knowing that they're happy and they're safe. No one to tell us what to do. One last time. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. Well done, guys. Hope you managed to keep up with that. If you did a fantastic job, because I went fairly quick then, but well done. Just remember, if you went wrong, it doesn't matter. You can keep rewinding the video as many times as you like and play along. Don't feel you have to do the up and down strum, just down is fine. And it's really just practice changing between those chords. The C, A minor, have your second finger ready. To the F, have this index finger coming down. And pivot on that to the G7 and back to the C chord. Like I said, with those chords, you can play thousands of songs. So we're already starting to open up the possibilities of this brilliant little instrument. In the next video, you're going to get even more practice because we're going to take 1, 2, 3 chords, C, F and G7 that you now know, and we're going to use them to play Surfing USA by the Beach Boys. We're really going to look at the function of these chords as well, because the more you understand the function of the chords, the more you know when to expect them and the more you're able to play them.